record now, now I'm pressing record. Now we should be recording. So we are live, baby.
Pussy.
Yeah, dang it, dude.
Son of a bitch.
So it's time for another session of Adventures in Loxos. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I'm trying out a new. I think I'm trying out a new intro. Is all this is.
Horrible.
Welcome, boys and girls. To
Right. Oh, you got. Stop.
I could be like Saliva. You wouldn't want to be anywhere in the world right now. All right, but all right. So let's do our character introductions. We have at the very top we have AT. Well,
somebody's dyslexic tonight.
ATGX. The Dragon.
This motherfucker's just saying goddamn letters at this point. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. He's like word, letter, word.
Yeah,
letter.
yeah. I just went for it. I just went for it. Just went in there and just dove in head first, you know.
Yeah, epic film.
And he will be playing Quill, the Slayer, Dragon Shaman, and yeah, I get it. Yeah, we need more wolves. And yeah, had that one in the tank for a while. Yeah. We just shared it with the world now.
They probably wish we did.
And yeah. He's our Slayer / Dragon Shaman / tank. Yep. Resident tough guy. Underneath that, we have Kassid 69. And she will be playing Agargus, the Myconid Pion Mender, little healer, little buffer, little mutant.
Yeah, you take that back.
A little so and so, a little such and such. Yeah. That's about all. Yeah. Underneath that we have Ness, who will be playing Android. I can't believe I forgot that name. Android for Risen, the Bard / Paladine, who is a Saint Cuthbert. No, he's a Saint of Corlon Larethion. And apparently joining us tonight is Unit 620, who has been on a hiatus for a hot minute.
Hey yo.
Yeah, for those of you listening at home and have seen the credits and the end credits, you might have seen Unit 620 in the credits there playing Elsa Blackwell. He's been on a hiatus for a minute, but he seems to be back tonight. Hello, Unit. Yes.
Hola.
So Elsa is our resident mythological creature. 12-year-old girl who is a ward.
Low-key cryptid.
Yeah. She's a low-key cryptid. That is a good one. That's canon now. She is the first cryptid of the world. At least of her area. So, and I'm Pog. I am the DM. I almost always forget to introduce myself. I don't know. Yeah, it's a thankless job.
Just some dick.
Just some
rando we picked up off the street.
I'm like a male adult film actor. I'm just a prop. That's it. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
On the gay side.
Oof. So, all right. So with the introduction of Elsa back into the campaign, I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants here real quick and introduce something that I've actually had working. I just haven't done anything because I was waiting for her to come back, or for Unit to come back. I was waiting for Elsa.
Same thing.
So, we're going to pick it up, actually, at a different point in time altogether. Now, if you guys remember what happened with you guys last session, you guys basically have made a new enemy. Kind of a new adversary. What do you want to call him? A rival, if you will. He is the Gary to your Ash. Yeah.
Sounds like something they would do.
He, Carabas Aharak, the Illithid. The Illithid gentleman, I might also add. And I point that out just because...
I will not be gentle with this man at all. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
That's what you want to call him.
well, it's not very commonplace to find a well-dressed, well-versed Illithid now, is it? Oh, well, you wouldn't know.
No.
Anyway, I was like, you guys wouldn't know that. The group wouldn't know that. He's like your first real experience with one. But yeah, you guys made yourselves a rival after finally retrieving both Agaragis and Uquil's equipment. And when I say that, I don't mean Agaragis' equipment. I mean, you guys retrieved Agaragis and Uquil's equipment. You guys went through a fight, and yeah, you guys had a battle, and during that battle, Carabas Aharak realized that these guys might be a lot tougher than I thought they were. So he fled, but before fleeing, he mind melded with Android, and now he knows everything that Android knows. And he unlocked things that Android didn't even know he knew. So,
Very cool.
yeah. And the reason why I'm retracing steps to this, because it's important, because he turned around, Android and Uquil found out what you guys were doing in the underworld in the first place. And that was you were going to kill Lord Varun's brother, Selfstorm. And both of them are sons of Lolth. They are the sons of Lolth and Corlon Larethian, because Corlon Larethian has a few kids running around, apparently. They're the half-brothers to Yoshi.
Nice.
Yes, well, Varun wants to off his brother, and he was counting on the element of surprise. He didn't even wanted to even tell you guys what you were doing there until the moment he sent you out. But his liaison, Shyla, spilt the beans because she was having a bad morning. And as such, through, I guess, clever diplomacy, Shyla's not going to be... she's not going to be given the axe as much as she's just going to be reprimanded. But the plan is all screwed. Soulstorm knows that you guys are coming. Varun isn't in the mood of sending you guys into a meat grinder. So you guys made a deal with him that as soon as he could figure out a plan on how best to proceed from here, he would call upon you guys again, and you guys agreed that you'd come back and help him. He did, however, live up to his end of the bargain, and he's going to show you where you guys can find the Wind Weird there on Pang Shun. He's looked into it, and he's going to send you guys topside and let you guys fulfill that bit of mission. And that's where we're at with the main group. Now let's teleport back in time for a minute. Let's go back. Way back. Back into time. Oh, about a week ago or so. Yeah. You guys, in game time. about a week ago in game time. You guys were on a bounty hunting mission trying to take out this Sunder Barbarian by the name of Draken Magus. When you caught up to him, you guys were ambushed by a bunch of undead Umber Hulk who collapsed the bridge basically the Terran bridge underneath y'all, and y'all went plummeting into the darkness. When the main group awoke, they found themselves captured, and there was a harrowing battle against the undead Formian Queen who had been risen from the dead by a mysterious necromantic orb. Draken Magus was killed by some unknown assailant. I mean, it was interesting. You guys met a wraith who, collapsed the cave around you guys. But during that, Elsa had vanished. When you guys all went collapsing down in there, Elsa had vanished. What had happened was, let's go back to that now. The Umber Hulks, the Umber Hulks come smashing back into Solar's back, causing him to collapse. Your giant winged eagle, celestial eagle, and he collapsed and he stretched out his hand and released the Bard's charm. Elsa, you were pretty much riding freaking Solar to the ground when you saw the Bard's charm get released. So you jumped off and caught the Bard's charm in your hand, and then ricocheted yourself off the wall, and realizing that you were just gonna way overshoot it, like you were gonna, it was either crash into Android to try and land it, or you would overshoot it. So instead you aimed for his bag of holding and just boop down in there, which was the safest bet. It was like the bag of holding even knew who you were. It saw you coming and it just opened up and you just
caught you like a baseball mitt.
Yeah, just popped you right in there. Problem is, something went wrong. Normally when you go into the bag of holding, you just find yourself in this like area of negative space. It's really just nothing. It's almost like you're just inside a womb that you just, crawl up in and you take your naps. But instead of landing in that like you normally do, you just kept falling this time. And you just find yourself in these catacombs. And you don't know why the bag of holding malfunctioned this time for you, because normally it doesn't. Normally you're completely good. But this time, however, you're you find yourself in these catacombs that it's almost like liminal spacing. It's just the same architecture, just stretching for as far as your eye can see. It's almost like like an old mausoleum, even. And there's about there's about waist high water coming up to your waist, and you're looking around and there's sconces on the walls with fire, so you got plenty of light. That's not the problem. The problem is you have no freaking idea as to where you could possibly be at this moment. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna wander around and see what she can find. Like, how the hell do I get out of here?
All right, go ahead and roll me a search.
And
So you begin slothing around the water. It's, like I said, it's about waist high.
Push splash, I'm taking a bath.
Yeah. Every time you turn a corner, it feels like you're just in the same room. And you'll just push forward and you'll turn a corner. And it feels like you're in the same room again. Only, as you do this, you begin to notice that certain things are different. Like you'll say, oh, well, there was a torch on the wall here once, but now there is no torch. And it's acting extremely peculiar in this sense. Because you can go through, you can turn 3 corners and all 3 rooms will be identical. But then you'll turn another corner and there'll be one room that looks exactly identical, but it'll have 1 or 2 things different about it. You do this, for a minute. For a good minute. You can't really tell how many times you've done it because it feels like you're just kind of, as they say, spinning your wheels. But eventually you do find one room where instead of having many exits that you could go through, it's only got 2. Left or right?
Are we taking a right, too?
So you turn right, and you realize that this, so you turn right, it takes you into a bigger room in the same fashion as the one you were just in, but this one is far bigger. And it's full of stone steps. And these stone steps are not, physics has no hold on this place. Some of those steps go down and lead to nowhere. Some of them go up and lead to nowhere. Some of them are on the ceiling. Some of them go up into doors that look like they just lead to the, there's a doorway there on a platform, but it looks like it's like a useless door because you'll go through the door and you'll still be on that same platform. It's not like it's taking you into another room. Immediately in front of you are 3 steps. There's one going up, one going down, and one that looks like it goes up and down. It's odd. It's a step that leads down and then V's up and leads on to another set of steps that are going completely up. The ones going down look like they take you down to a platform with a door, a useless door. The ones going up look like they lead to nowhere. And the ones that V out, the one going up looks like it leads to another set of stairs, only those stairs are flipped upside down and up against the ceiling, and they look like they're leading down. If that makes any sense to you at all.
This shit don't make no sense.
Yeah. Which set of steps would you like to take?
Yes.
Like that scene in Labyrinth.
Yes. Yes.
Just gonna pick the closest one and be like, well, I guess it's an F.
The closest one will be... Nope, that's not what I meant to do at all. But I forget how to roll the die or what? Okay, the closest one to you is the one that V's. So, yeah, so just out of curiosity, because you're like, that doesn't make any sense at all. So you get curious about it. So you start walking down the stairs until it conjoins into the stairwell that's going all the way up. And then conjoins into that top there with the stairs that are going downward into the ceiling. And you start walking down, you start walking up. And then when you get to those steps that conjoin into the ceiling, the second you touch those steps, it feels like the whole of reality just flips. Just flips you vertically. And you're now right side up with everything else upside down. And you're looking down at a set of steps that lead to a small plateau with 2 different sets of steps one going down that looks like it goes into a door, and one going up that looks like it leads onto a platform, but that platform isn't sitting on the same plane as that set of steps. It's the same sort of thing. Like those steps are going onto a platform that look like they're now pressed against. That looks like it's now pressed against the ceiling. Which set of steps would you like to take?
Well, she's gonna stop and throw up a second, and then go to the one that looks like it's attached to the ceiling.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so you yeah, you go onto those steps. You go up those steps up to that platform, and the second you touch that platform, everything shifts again. I mean, it's almost like you're in some kind of sphere that just every once in a while, like a ball that just rolls. And no matter how it rolls, you're always going to end up on the bottom of it. If you're on the inside, like a hamster in a wheel, if you will. And you just... And you're on this platform now. And the second you're on this platform, you see that there's a pedestal there with what looks like a lever. It's mechanical. You can see on this pedestal, inside the pedestal, you can see like looks like it's made out of stone, but the very center of it is hollowed out and open, and you can see inside of its inner workings all these cogs and gears, and all that leads up to the top of the pedestal with one lever that you turn. It doesn't turn like a steering wheel, it cranks like horizontally. What do you do?
Go fuck with that then. It's like, well, that's different. Let's go see what it does.
So you just start spinning it, and you can hear the gears just turning and turning. And as you're doing that, you watch as it looks like this entire room, the far wall of this entire room, all those steps and platforms that look like they lead to nothing and do nothing, they just begin to open up like a giant door. And it's leading out, and as that door opens, it looks like on the other side of this giant portal now that it leads to the night sky. See, Elsa doesn't really know the word space, but she knows what she sees when she looks at the sky at night. And that's what she's looking at now. It looks like she's so close to the sky that she can touch it. All those twinkling stars and different things. And as you continue cranking that lever to open those doors all the way, you feel the platform begin to break away from the stairwell that it was attached to, as if now it's wanting to float you in the direction of that door. Instinctively, you stop for a moment, and when you do that, the platform stops. And now you're left with the choice. Do you ride this platform through that giant double door into the unknown? Or do you say, oh, the heck with this, and try your luck inside this room, trying out some more of these stairs?
She's gonna aim for around some more stairs. She's like, I don't know about that.
Just like,
It's suspicious.
Ooh. Ooh. All right, cool. All right, so you say, screw all that. So you go back to the stairway that you came from, and when you touch it, everything shifts once more. Except oddly enough, now that the platform's been detached and the doorway is open, that's the only things that don't shift. Everything just shifts around it, including you, just rolling with the all of this place. Just. Now you do have that other set of stairs you can go down that will lead you to a door. Well, you're going down, but like you got those other set of stairs that could lead you to a door that looks like it goes to nowhere. Looks like it's just a door that you walk through. Like you could walk around it. You know what I mean? Like you could walk circles around it.
Just gonna go find that F with it then.
All right. I was gonna say, or you could just come back the way you came. But all right. So you go walking down that stairwell, and you find yourself on another platform with this door. Like I said, it's just a standalone door. It's more like an archway, like you would see in a garden, that people make with the lattice and woodwork with the vines and stuff. Only instead of vines and wood and lattice, it's stone, and it's decorated with writings and imagery that you're not really familiar with. What do you do?
Just gonna keep looking around like, what the hell is going on here?
So you start inspecting the door and everything. What kind of knowledges does Elsa have?
He has knowledge. No.
None. She has no kind of knowledge.
Is that a stick or a book? Same thing.
Yeah. So knowledge is tied into intelligence. I'll let you roll an intelligence check to see if like maybe you can decipher something about this door, like whatever the carvings, like seeing if you can't really make out what those carvings are, perhaps.
Issue.
All right, so
I didn't learn me this shit.
yeah, it's really odd. Like you can tell that there's creatures or something carved on this, but they're just odd. Like you can't even tell what that, like that just looks like a thorny bush to you, but you're not entirely sure what the heck. It looks like a mess. One of the things you make out on there though looks like something almost like a dog without four legs. It looks like about the size of a dog, but it's only on like two legs, and it looks like it's got a tail and then like a face that only a mother could love. Like you can't tell if that's supposed to be a mouth or if like the face is just deteriorated over time and so it's like broken.
It's like, that looks like you will.
Go ahead and roll a listen for me while you're inspecting this door. So as you're inspecting the door, you become acutely aware of movement in this place that is not your own. Because there's so many different stairwells and what looks like entrances and just oddities. You're not really able to pinpoint it per se, but you can hear it moving around somewhere. And it sounds like dozens of talons clacking on stone. And then like shuffling, like something rustling in a bush. So what would you like to do? You want to try going through this door? You want to try going back up and back the way you came? Would you rather take your chances on the platform and through that giant freaking space door? What would you like to do?
He fell out.
Oh, he did? Oh, that sucks.
But like, I don't know if he's just resetting or whatever, but
Oh, I think so because because he's not even in the Discord anymore. F in the chat. Well, that's a good place to pause him at anyways. When he comes back, we'll figure out more of that situation. I know I could hear things going on in his background, so he's probably got stuff going on in his house and stuff. And like I said, he's been on hiatus, folks, and so he's got a lot going on in his personal life, and I think he was just jumping in to remind us all that he exists. But yep, that's Elsa Blackwood, everybody. Blackwell. Elsa Blackwell, everybody. For all you listeners at home. And or viewers, but there's not really much to watch on these. But, for all you folks at home, that was Elsa Blackwell. And, yeah, you can catch her on the end credits. She's played by Unit 620, and yeah, that's to be continued now with Elsa inside the bag of holding. And she's got Android's Bart Stronger on her. Ugh. Yeah. How is it that yeah, never mind. I know how it is because your DM's a dick. All right. So
yeah, that ain't my fault.
Yeah, no. All right, so you guys, so the party finds themselves the next day. You all decided that you would rest before heading out the next day. Lord Valrun insisted on it.
He sent a message in the chat saying BRB, my internet connection died, I guess.
Okay, well, that's cool. Well,
yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I wasn't paying attention. Normally when I'm like on these like long talking spiels, I close my eyes. So, I don't know what that is. I guess it's because I'm envisioning it. I have to see it to believe it or something. I don't know. Anyways, but despite Shyla's best efforts, Lord Varun insisted that Zoltan sleep alone. And the next day, you guys notice that she is not there. That she is not around. Welcome back, Unit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. My internet connection, just my computer died. Everything else is fine.
It's okay. That's okay. Give me 1 second. We'll get back to you in a minute. Okay.
You're fine.
Let me finish this little spiel here. This spiel. The Steven Spielberg. So you guys are standing around with Lord Valrun the next day, and he's like, as promised, I have located the general area of where this weird could be that you all are seeking. You think it wouldn't be hard to find since, according to legend, they aren't small creatures. However, this one seems to be elusive for some weird reason. Huh. And then he just kind of laughs at his own joke. He's like, no pun intended.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, regardless, I will show you where you can, where the area is. And this is actually going to require everybody to go to the Roll20 just because of the the explanation here. But he unrolls a map of the continent of Pengshun. And he shows it to you guys. Says, here's a map of the continent above, in the land above the underworld here. It is the continent of Pengshun, and it is broken up into several different regions that they call shogunate. He goes, why they call it that? I don't know. I guess they just thought it sounded cool. He goes, you have your 2, 3, 4, 5. You got your 5 shogunates here. He goes, I won't go into a long, drawn-out exposition dump on all of you. And then he kind of laughs again. He goes, but I will show you the direction of where you need to go. The entrance to the underworld is in this region here. From here, you will find yourself in the 6th Demon Shogunate. He goes, don't go that way. He says, instead, you want to head into the Dragoon Below Shogunate. And it's somewhere within their lands. He goes, my people seem to think if we had to venture a guess, we'd say closer to the mountain regions here. He goes, I don't know what those mountains are called. He goes, I have very little to any knowledge of the top side. He goes, I don't go there often. I have no need of them. He goes, but my people seem to think that if something of that size were going to try and hide, it would probably do well to hide in the mountains there. So you will have to travel through the shogunate lands. He goes, I will tell you what I do know of the top side, though, of these different shogunate. They're not welcoming people. None of you look like you belong there, if you understand what I'm saying. He says, elves, drow. And he points at Agaricus and goes, Myconid.
That's racist.
He says, none of you are commonplace. Yeah. He says, there's no such thing as an elf topside in these lands. He goes, the only one of you that can possibly pass himself off is, and he points at you, Quill, and he goes, is you. And even you are going to be different just because you don't quite fit the exact style that they're used to. He goes, but with that
style, boy.
Yeah. He says, however, if you're clever enough and you don't cause much ruckus, you might be able to make it far in those lands without causing any issue. He says, go through he goes, topside you will be entering into what we call the Sangoon Mountains. That much I know. I know what these mountains are called. This entire region here are known as the Sangoon Mountains. He goes, they're home to tribes, basically. Tribes of people. The only topside dealings I do mostly is with these different tribal people, and most of them aren't willing to deal with people that come from the underworld. They're fully aware of our existence. They just know that trying to come after us on our home turf is a fool's errand.
LOL.
Says indeed. Lols indeed. So be cautious of the tribes. Some are friendlier than others, and some are superstitious, which make them come across as unfriendly. deciphering the difference between the three is really up to your own wisdom, not mine.
Well, I'll keep that in mind.
It's okay. With that said, we do have a mist gate here that can take you to the entrance. It's well hidden, so I'll appreciate you not to give away its positioning once you travel through it. Trying to make the trek to the entrance would take you several days, and it is quite the perilous journey when you factor in everything else that exists. Not everything in the underworld is as civilized as us Drow. And he kind of gives a half grin.
Android chuckles. That one gets a laugh out of Android.
He just kind of looks at you for a minute, like, he's still holding that half grin, but he's kind of looking at you like, so funny.
You motherfucker.
Is that funny? Is that funny to you? He goes, I will let you use my own personal mist gate to travel there. Just let me know when you all are ready. And with that, like, his body like mechanically turns and he looks like he's just fiddling with something. And there's like an X above his head waiting for you to press the action button to let him... No, I'm just kidding. Joke. A joke.
Is an NPC.
My man's. He does turn and roll up the map and hand it out to whoever wants it. I suppose you, Android.
Whoever presses
Android
X.
just stuffs it in his bag of holding next to Elsa.
Yeah. Elsa, while you're down there, just a map just bounces off your head. You're like, what the
This is even go to this place.
This mother is dropping on me.
She throws it back out. I'm like, get this shit out of here.
But yeah. He just lets you know, let him know when you all are ready after he hands you the map, and then he turns around and starts fixing himself a drink. Because it's becoming apparent that this man is an alcoholic.
Nice.
What type of guy?
Yeah, every time they see him, he's got a drink in his hand.
One of us. One
Yeah.
of us.
He's either drinking or pouring.
Drinking, smoking. Okay. I'm ready if everybody else is.
Yeah.
And
Talk. Let's go.
yeah, you can just see a Garrett just kind of...
I'm about to roll out.
I can just see a Garrett.
I can't recall if the boy had gotten the stuff he came for.
Oh yeah, he got it. He got his essence. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. His elemental
His elemental
goo.
Yeah.
essence.
Yeah. Then, let me get a swig, bro, before we get the door down. Don't be stingy.
He looks at you and he says, "Oh." Then he hands you a decanter, and inside this decanter you see this amber liquid that seems to like sparkle like it's got glitter in it, but it's like twinkling like the night sky. Says, "Have a drink of that."
You was like, is this the one that touches me down in my soul, or is this just normal shit?
He goes, we call it Amber Moon. Not to be confused with,
Nice.
in case there's someone out there named Amber Moon who happens to be an actress. I'm disclaimer, I don't know for sure. It was just a name that came to my mind. But yeah. He goes, we call this Amber Moon. He goes, no, it won't sedate you. But it sure does take the edge off.
It's funny that you referred to her as actress. I mean, I don't know that there is an Amber Moon either, but to call her an actress would be such a polite way of saying that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I digress.
Yes, there's a thought! Okay, anyway.
Yeah, Yuko may not be the like old rambling drunk he once was, but he still enjoys a fine drink.
And it fine and
they have not.
Fine it is. It barely even burns. It almost tastes like sugar water, almost like flavored a bit Kool-Aid. You don't know what Kool-Aid is, but it's like Kool-Aid, you know?
This motherfucker gave me hints. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it's delicious, and you feel like it almost makes you feel like twinkly.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh.
You feel like, man, y'all got the crown like that here. A little bit.
Yeah, as you. Yeah, so as far as you know, so far they be drinking stuff like electrolyte. They be drinking this Amber Moon, and they be drinking whatever the crap that purple drink that you drink at the Lotus Den. Yeah, but you never got its name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you drink this, and you're.
Caesar, yeah.
When you go to hand back the bottle to him, he like puts his hand up and he goes, "Keep it." He watched you take like a swig from the bottle, put your mouth on the bottle, and he's like, "Keep it," and then just kind of puts 2 fingers against his lips, and then like lowers them. He's like, "Take it with you. Call it a parting gift."
Yuko gives him a little sly wink. He's like, sure.
It's like, fare thee well. And he grabs like a little satchel thing, like it looks almost like a water skin type thing, but it's like a leather sheath, like a koozie. And he hands it to you for the bottle, and he says, you know, where you can tie it to your belt. So you're not just walking around with a bottle in your hand. And yes, even though that seems really convenient, he is the type of guy that would have something like that for him to be able to carry liquor with him at all times. In fact, you notice that he's even got one just swinging from his hip. It's just a little bit smaller. Looks almost like something you would hold a flask in. This is, yeah. This is all right. Since you all are ready, then shall we? And he leads you all, like, you know, up the stairwell and through, like, up several stairs and then down a hall. And you guys notice that this place was nice, but the fire from the night before really wrecked it pretty hard. Like, you can tell that there's probably, there's like burnt paintings on the wall and damaged, like, statues and just things. You can tell that there's a lot of stuff here, that some of it may be just gaudy, but some of it you can tell is like maybe family heirlooms or something, stuff that is irreplaceable. As he takes you into this room, this room is just a circular room that is decked out like a library. This room is pretty well untouched. Fine carpet on the floor, you know, think a study. And he walks over to this red curtain, and he walks over to this green curtain, and he pulls it to the side, and there's a mist gate on the other side of it, and he says, when you all are ready to return to your own lands, come back to remember where the entrance to the underworld is and where that mist gate is. Come back to me, and I will see you safely back to your own homeland. All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So each of you step through the mist gate, and it's like before. You feel that tingling sensation. Feels like mist. Your body is just being misted. You know, you feel kind of wet but tingly, and then you feel yourself just meld into the mist and just, and then suddenly you're just traveling. And it feels like you're just flowing down like a water tunnel in mist form until you get to the other side and you step through. And like before, you step through and you're completely dry. You've been, you were discombobulated and now you're recombobulated. I don't even know if that's a word or not, but we're going with it. And you guys, you find yourselves in this room, a stone room, with two sconces on the walls. Like, the mist gate is sitting there, and then this room is real small. I mean, not so small that y'all can't fit in it, but it's like a small room. And then just on the far wall, you can tell that there's a doorway there because there's a definite cutout for it. You can see it, but it's blocked by a stone door that looks like it has no handle, with just two sconces on either side of it that are lit to give light into this room. So you can tell that it's a hidden door, but it's not hidden on this side.
Are you sure?
I mean, I am. If you want to act like you can't see it, you're allowed to play as much D&D as you want.
You put us hot on the south, so he goes to the door that
Yeah.
Yeah, through the mist gate we go.
He goes back and goes, "Hey!
Hey there, buddy.
This door ain't got no knob on it! It ain't even got a knocker!"
You mean to tell me that they've mastered interstellar space travel, but they can't get through a wooden door?
It's a stone door, but, it's fair. That's a fair assumption. So, what do you all do? This is a thing you have to figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe he forgot to tell you what to do here. Maybe he didn't tell you because he thought it would be funny. It's too late to ask him now.
I really don't. I'm not a big fan of how you just said that to me, sir.
I don't like your attitude, Mr. DM, sir.
I feel like this is a trap.
So...
Backroom's like, deep throat my bottle of liquor.
So we just kind of go through the gate and then just...
Well, the gate is closed. The doorway is closed. You can tell that there's a
just...
cutout for it, but there is a... Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We like whip through it and it's just like,
Yeah, you just found yourselves in this, one room. Looks like it's like a hollowed out cave, but the doorway, you can definitely tell it's cut out for something. And it looks like a natural formation, too. Like, it's not like a perfect square. It's shaped like a rock on the wall would be, you know what I mean? And you can see it's definitely an outline, like the crease of it that would naturally form in a door like this, only right now it's closed. And then on either side of it are two sconces, like maybe not so much sconces as they are just torches that are mounted on the wall on either side of it to light the room.
Right, but when we step into the opening, like, nothing happens. It's not like it's like the gate is unactivated, or is it like this is a
the gate is still going. Yes, you guys stepped out of the gate and now you're in the room on the other side. He said that we had this mist gate by the entrance to the mountain entrance to the underworld, but it's hidden. Because we just don't want anybody coming through here, right?
I thought this was before we had stepped through the mist gate still. My bad, I guess I had missed that. But, yeah. Okay. So now we're trying to get out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha. I thought that, like, stone door that you were describing was the mist gate and it was deactivating.
Oh, no.
I'm just dumb. Okay.
No, he just didn't tell you. Like I said, either he forgot or he just thought this would be really funny. But he just didn't tell you what to do once you got onto the other side, you know?
Okay.
Because it's like, well, what do we do now, right? The door ain't open.
I guess what happens if I take the sconces out?
Like, just take the torches out?
Yeah, just take them out of their little holders.
So, one of them you take out, you kind of look at it for a minute, and then you, with the torch in your other hand, you go over to grab the other one, and you feel that the holder of the one torch, it feels loose. Almost like you could just pull on it.
Okay, I give it a tug.
When it pulls down just like a lever would, just, and then you guys feel like a slight rumble and a shake, and dust naturally falls, from the doorway as it begins to slide forward, almost like a hidden, one of those hidden doors. Just, and then
Nice.
off to the side, and when it stops, you guys hear a like a ticking.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna put the other torch back, and I'm just gonna leave. I'm not even gonna wait.
How about it?
It like startles him. You see him just like shove it back in and just turn and scurry off. He's just like, oh shit.
What about everybody else? So the door closes, and you, Quill, and Agaricus are still like just standing there.
Yeah, we just
Kanye.
Do you guys follow?
This bullshit.
You guys follow Android through the door?
yeah.
You have to signify, Yar, because I don't know what you're thinking. You might be like thinking, well, what if there's something else in this room though, and you want to inspect or you want to try something, or or you just don't trust it. You're like, maybe that's maybe this is a trap or something. It's a trap, Squid Man. So.
Thank you, Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, so you guys go walking through the door, and after a minute the ticking gets faster, and then and it resets itself back into place, and you see on the other side that it is a hidden door. Like on this side, you can't see the outline of where it would be at all. And you've got even less clue on how to open it, because there are no sconces or anything on this side.
Android's like skinnamarink dinky dink. And when nothing happens, he's just like, oh.
Bell.
Can I like... Because we're gonna have to return here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to get back through. Can I pick up a rock and, like, mark an X on the wall, like a chalk rock,
Sure, like just kind of scratch it in there. Just.
Yeah, not make it terribly obvious, but enough to where if I knew where to look, I could find it again.
Sure.
Okay, well, at least this is the door. Sure,
roll me a strength check. You cut your hand and you're bleeding out. No, I'm just kidding. None of that. You don't have to do that. Just. You just kind of mark you a little X there, and yeah, and now you know where it is. So you guys now can see that you're standing in an opening to a cave entrance that, leads outside into the mountains. From here, even in this entranceway, you can see out into just like this massive range of mountains. And the sun is pouring in through the cave mouth. And for a minute there, each one of you have to, except you, Agargus, and Zoltan if he were here. But Android and Uquill, for a minute there, you guys take several minutes like rubbing your eyes because they hurt.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys have to rub your eyes because they hurt. Because you've been underground for, yeah.
Pussies.
Well, you weren't, it's not so much the idea that you were underground for like really that long, maybe just like a couple of days, but it really does give you an idea of just how deep underground and just how deep and the darkness actually was that was around you, and how what they use for lights, those crystals and everything, how that's not, those are more like halogen bulbs, if you will, you know what I mean? It's right. False light, and at this, so like this, the sun, the actual sunlight, the rays of it are hurting your guys' eyes, and like you blink several times and your eyes fill up with like water and stuff, and like looks like you guys have been crying for like hours by the time your eyes begin to finally adjust. And you all step out into the Pangshin continent, and you are here. You are there. Looking out amongst the mountains. So, what would you all like to do now? How would you all like to proceed?
I'd like to head this way.
Okay. So, you know what?
On foot.
I am but on foot. But on foot.
Agaricus, can he hop on like Android's like leg and just like hang tight?
I will say yes if Android doesn't care. But I will also say that on any kind of checks like climb or jump or swim or anything like that, you're going to be at like a -4 disadvantage.
What do you mean?
That's okay. If I have to do any of that, I'll just throw it off.
Fair enough. I'll just shake it off. I'm sorry, Cassie, did you tell me to quit being mean? Did you say quit being mean?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't know what it...
I thought when I said he was at a -4, you went quit being mean. I was like, oh ho ho, it's a -10.
Wow.
Yeah.
-32. What the fuck?
It's like, yeah, it's like, hey, that's unreasonable. -32. Android, stop helping me.
Right.
It's fine. -4 is a good number. Jesus.
You just give +4.
I could.
You just give him extra air or whatever speed. Like, I give him powers. I could do that, right?
We'll
Yeah, we shall see, Sword. We shall see. But yeah, you guys are standing out amongst... Okay, so Android, you got an idea of the direction you want to go, right? He gave you a pretty good idea of where you want to go. But yeah, you guys are standing out on this plateau. Now, the direction you want to go, that involves a lot of climbing. I'm not even gonna lie, right? Going in the opposite direction though, like, if you're looking, let's see, if you're looking, what is that? Southwest, right? That's about southwest, the direction you want to go. Well, headed directly northeast of your positioning, there's actually a bridge leading up to this plateau of this cave entrance. And the bridge itself is all decorated with fine archways, pagoda-style archways of clay shingling and stone pillars with flags actually attached to them, like not the kind of flags you guys are used to with like the giant banners and the, you know what I mean? These flags are like ribbons, you know, like so much so that you guys kind of look at it like you call that a flag, but they have them hung up like they're flags, you know, and they're spiraling in the wind. And they're like different colors, red, blue, yellow, green, you know, just in the wind. There is a definite altitude here that makes you a little short of breath. And there is wind, you know, that's how high up you are. You are within the wind chill. So you do have a decision here, y'all. You can take your chances trying to climb in the direction you want to go, or you can take the path down the bridge to see if there isn't something that will lead you downward, maybe to where you can cut over eventually.
Well, I mean, he did specifically tell us not to go up that way. Just to say. I mean...
That's true.
He was very clear to not go up to the 6th Demon Shogunate. He said, the 6th Demon Shogunate, it's up that way? Yeah, don't go that way.
Yeah. He said, don't F with them. Yep, that is what he said.
Don't even, yeah. So.
And honestly, I spelt this all wrong. Really. I mean, it's right. Technically it's right, but it was a play on words, and I just spelt it right just because I wasn't thinking about it. It's not actually pronounced shogunate. It's pronounced, like in Loxos, it's pronounced shogunate. N-I-T. Shogunate. But I don't know, for whatever reason, my spelling just took over, and I spelt it right. Shogunate. So, yeah, I effed up on this map.
Thing.
Yeah. Really, I mean, it is, but it's how you would pronounce, like, shogunate, and then shogunate.
No, I get you.
So, these are shogunates. But whatever. I don't know why I'm pointing out my failings live or not live, but on this recording, but,
On this week's episode, Pog is bitch.
Yeah, I keep it 100. Anyways, full disclosure, folks, I suck as a DM. But yeah, so based. What would you all like to do?
Well, I really don't want to fucking climb, but I can't summon Solar, and I can't go up to the fucking bridge.
I mean, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
What can I see down off this way?
Mountains.
Just mountains?
Just mountains. This is a mountainous place. I mean, every once in a while it like dips down, like you can tell that there's like valleys inside these mountains, but you think that these are like where they make the ranch, right? This is hidden valleys, you know? You can't...
I'm done with you. So fucking done with you.
Newman's choice. But like, as far as like what he was showing you, you don't see, like on the map, you don't see any of that.
Okay, but do I see any like small villages headed off in that direction?
In which direction? The direction you're going?
Towards the mountains. Yeah, towards the mountains. I don't see any like small.
Roll me a spot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's pretty good. Okay, so you start to strain your eyes off into that direction, seeing if like maybe you can, spot something. You do spot a valley, right? And you can't be entirely sure, but that valley looks like maybe there's some kind of life down in there, You can see like a definite water, like you can see like a lake. You see like what looks like a forest down there. It's a fairly good sized valley actually for all the like mountainous area around here. That's probably like the biggest valley you can see. And like you're straining and that's possibly farms you see down there. Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah.
Bullshit, mate.
And I'll show you. It's down in this direction here. This little area right here. Looks like there might be a valley. Or at least that is where the valley is, but looks like that might be a place that's housing life forms.
Freaking A. Well, what do you think, Quill?
Well,
timing sucks, but I think it might be safer in the long run.
so you want to go down where?
We want to go down this way,
Yeah.
but we're gonna have to travel through some mountains.
Yeah.
He
That's what I
told
was
us
thinking.
not to go up this way, but this way looks
Yeah.
safer. It's got like a bridge or something. But Homeboy said very specifically not to fuck with the 6 Demon Shogunate, so.
So we'll want to possibly travel. Okay. Travel south. What you trying to say? Down the mountain range and like.
Yes, but here's the kicker. We probably shouldn't use Solar.
Well, I mean, yeah, I figured that much. Well, the main thing was just like, can everybody? Well, I mean, if the monkey
Do what?
died. I said the little monkey's riding him, so if he died, it died.
True.
I mean, we can try it. I mean, if we're not supposed to go, northeast, our options are west or south. We'll do southwest.
Just like the boulevard.
Guess we're gonna Fellowship of the Ring it and go through the mountains.
Now, for the sake of my curiosity, are you headed towards this valley, or are you just trying to cut? Or are you trying to head through that valley you saw?
In theory, we could make it a little bit easier if we head down through the valley and follow the valley passage out through the south end of the mountains, kind of by the coast, correct?
Yes.
Or it appears that way.
Yeah, I mean somehow, there might be a passage out of that valley. That valley might be, you know what I mean? Definitely, if those are farms you're seeing down there, whoever lives there definitely has a way of getting through the mountains. That's for sure. If that's a farm, might just be a giant worm. Long live me.
Nice. That's what we'll do.
I poisoned your wine. All right. Then I guess what I'm going to need from everybody to start off with is a climb check. I guess except for you, huh, Garrigus? Garrigus, what I'm going to need you to roll me is a ride, because technically you're riding his leg. There's some...
Cool.
Can you at least climb up onto my back?
Oh.
Can you at least use your little, like, leggy things to climb up onto my back?
Yeah.
And that way, maybe then I won't die.
Kind of like... Hold on, let me roll.
Okay.
That's a pretty good climb check there, Quill. If I do say so myself. It's like the game knew that you can't really afford to F this one up, huh?
Man, same.
Yeah. Alright.
22.
Yeah, I mean, you guys begin climbing, and you guys climb for a whole day through that, and now I'm not going to say you make it, there all in one day, because that would be like a ridiculous thing to even think. But you guys just climb and find your handholds and work and take your short breaks here and there to figure out what your next move should be and yada yada yada, and eventually you guys find yourselves a nice spot to hunker down for the night. Now, I will give you the option, even though you have found yourselves a nice plateau where you could hunker down for the night, I will give you the option to keep climbing through the night. However, it is darkness. You are not familiar with the, and I'm giving you this disclaimer now. You're not familiar with the... All right. Hunkering down it is then. Well, Android says...
May get fucked up also, but I don't care. I'm not climbing in the dark.
Android votes to stop climbing. What does Agaragis and Quill think?
Agaricus is totally fine with that. He's a little spooked out by the darkness.
Yeah, darkness up here is too bright.
Nice.
I mean, that's what it would be, right? Like, it's too bright. Yeah. Freaks you out. You can still see,
But there's like a weird presence, though, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Eeriness. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not familiar with this place at all.
No. Or these people.
Yeah. What do you mean by these people? No. Quill. Quill, what do you say? Keep climbing or stop for the night?
Well, I mean, if the majority of the party wishes to stop, then stopping.
Fair enough. That's a team player right there. He's not being that guy. All right.
That guy.
That guy. So you all stop and do you build a campfire? Do you... you do eat, so take away rations accordingly. Agaragis, I don't think you have rations, do you? I don't think you need to eat.
I think you're right.
I think we said like you kind of eat whenever you kind of sleep, because you kind of just root yourself in and take in the nutrients. Yeah.
Yeah.
It give me no nutrients. It give me no eagle powers.
Give me no eagle power.
So, you guys, but do you build a campfire or do you leave it dark?
Fuck it. Build a campfire.
All right. So, Android, unless you Quill, do you disagree with this decision, or are you just like, whatever, dude, build a campfire if you want?
on the fence about that.
I'm kind of on the fence about that. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm not sure about
well,
this.
we don't have to.
Well, I mean, it's also like equal doesn't require very much sustenance. So like building a fire, unless we're using it necessarily for something, is not, you know.
Oh, I was just thinking because of the wind chill.
I mean, fair. Is it that cold?
He said we were high up enough to feel the wind chill, but
Mhm.
I don't know if that means that we're just gonna be fucking freezing to death.
Well, it's not freezing. That's for sure. The moon is still red, but it's beginning to wane into the yellow. You do definitely notice that it's beginning to wane into the yellow. So it is a little bit more brisk now than it would have been in the red moon, during its full, during the hot seasons. The yellow moon means that, plants are beginning to die and things are, preparing for the white moon when the fresh snow shall come upon the ground. So it is a bit more brisk than it would have been, but it's not, it's not so freezing that but I mean, it's cool. It's chilly. Let me put it to you like this. It won't kill you, but it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So it's completely up to you guys. Yay or nay to the campfire?
Yeah, I mean, Equal's not big on giving away his position to possibly eyes that he doesn't know about.
To whatever the F might be in this place. Yeah.
We'll just stay in the dark. It'll be fine.
And for the record, Agaricus feels none of this chill. Agaricus feels none of it. However, Agaricus, the nutrients you are pulling out feel less.
Oh.
Because of the, you know what I mean? It's almost like because you are technically plant life. You feel, and it's odd to you because you've never really felt this before. Living in the underworld, the eastern underworld, or the western underworld for so long. Underground, minerals and nutrients are kind of aplenty, but now you feel like you're more in tune with like the natural world around you. And not say as much as like somebody like Zoltan, but even Zoltan is kind of, dumbfounded by the topside natural world in its own right. But like, you can kind of feel the shifting of things, the turning of the seasons, as it were. Things just feel like they're dying, and so the nutrients you're drawing in for your sustenance, you yourself can just kind of feel their, I don't want to say their pain because it's not an agonizing thing, but you just kind of, it feels just icky, like, what is that,
Yeah.
So yeah. So even though you don't necessarily experience this wind chill or anything, you're kind of uncomfortable in a different way than say like you, Quill, and Android would be, and it's a whole new sensation for you. So take that for what it's worth. You know what I mean? Take that. It's your character. Run with it and go. Mail it, bail it, sail it. But whatever you do, don't roll and fail it. All right. Let's go. So eventually, against all odds, each of you doze off into your sleep. You, Quill, you begin to get your few hours of sleep that you're required. Agaricus, you kind of just go into like rest mode, as it were, where you just kind of plant yourself, and it's in those hours that you are like the most like a plant or a fungus as you could possibly be, because it's like almost like you're lifeless right now. And Android, you're in your meditation as elves are wont to do. You know? And each of you are aroused from your slumbers. All at the same time.
Morning wood.
Morning! Morning! Yeah, Agargus, the little mushroom head. Hey guys! No.
He's like half an inch taller.
Yeah, so I was gonna say he grew overnight.
It's like, don't mind me. I just gotta go leak and then I'll go back to normal. Anyways, I didn't say that. So, no. But no, you guys are all aroused. You guys are all brought out of your slumbers by, that's what caused it the last time, I know it. By noise. It's a loud and the wind is picking up, and you look up and clouds have rolled across the sky, and there's thunder now. And lightning just dancing all over the place. And as you all begin to look up at that, unfortunately, you begin to feel the first droplets just hit you. Before it begins to just rain, downpour on you like hard.
Damn it.
Yes. Go ahead and all of you, well, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna do that, because this would be like next to impossible to miss. You guys are getting rained on, just like, you know, it's like a torrent of rain, and you're watching this lightning streak across the sky, but then you watch it start striking down into the mountain ranges. But it's not like causing any kind of explosions. Like everybody knows what lightning does, you know, at least Android and Uquill does. Agargus, you've never seen lightning before. You've never even seen rain before. You've never been in a rainstorm before. What is this like for Agargus right now as they they watch the clouds rolling over the sky, listening to the thunder roll and the lightning strike? But like seriously though, like what is that like for Agargus?
At first he was really unsure what was coming from the sky, what was touching him. He didn't know how to like kind of make sense of it, and so he kind of like ran up real close, like by Android's feet, and then was like, okay, you know, looking around. And then he kind of like steps out, and I think if he would to hear lightning, he would just like huddle down.
Right. So as you're like cowering down, watching this lightning strike everywhere, the rain isn't like what it is for Android and Uquill either. That they're getting drenched and cold. For you, it's kind of refreshing in a weird sort of way. It's almost like you're, it's almost like it's feeding into you in an odd like sense. You feel oddly comfortable in it. You're strangely comfortable with it. And, but what all of you witness is as these lightning bolts begin to strike down and don't actually strike anything, they begin to take form.
Oh, fuck.
And they begin to make out, like, when they hit, they're like striking into each other and sizzling. And they begin to like, almost like an outline of a humanoid shape. First it's the legs, then it's the torso, the pelvis, then the torso, then arms, shoulders, I mean all of it to the head. And then it solidifies. and it becomes tangible. But it's still arcing all over this giant thing's body. Yeah. OF indeed. What you guys see are these beings that are so massive. I mean, we're talking like these guys are large. Like, they tower over these mountains. You have never seen anything this size before. That's how big these guys are. Like, they tower over these mountains. Like, when they look off into the mountain range, it's like they're looking across the table. You know? Just... And they're these massive, buff individuals with all this lightning arcing all over their bodies, and they look like they're... What the crap? They look like they're almost made out of stone, but it's ethereal in some weird fashion. And their eyes flash and arc with lightning. And they just glow. They just radiate this like faint blue aura of electricity.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bad day.
And then they look at you guys and they say, fee, fi, fo, fum. Now, I don't know what's wrong with me tonight, but it's like I got a joke every 10 seconds. No, when they land though, as intimidating as they are, they don't really, like, there's two of them, and they don't really seem to notice you as much.
Good.
Like, they're not even looking in your direction or anything like that. What they do is much worse.
Oh, shit.
They raise their hand, one of them raises their hand into the sky, and an arc of lightning comes down, drops down into his palm, and solidify. Well, it doesn't solidify, but it's like it drops down into his palm, and then it's like he's holding it like a spear now, or a javelin. Just this lightning, just in his hand, and he hauls back and spears it at the other one, and the other one catches it, and he throws it back at the one, and the one catches it. And he throws it back at the one, and the one that he throws it at misses, and it hits him in the chest and just explodes into like dozens upon dozens of like miniature lightning bolts that just start striking the mountain ranges all around you guys, just and just exploding. And the one stops that got hit, and then you can hear this loud, like deep laughter. But it sounds like it's crackling, like buzzing with electricity, just and they're like nodding, and you know, and the one points, and he points up one finger, and the one goes mm-hmm, and then the one that just got hit calls lightning down into his hand, and he throws it, and he throws it. And the one, he throws it a little too high, so he ducks it instead of trying to catch it. And it strikes the mountain, like, almost eerily, almost too close to you guys. And that size of a lightning bolt hitting that mountain, just boom! And you guys feel the plateau you're on shake. You didn't think you'd ever feel a whole mountain shake, but you just felt a whole mountain shake. And then you hear the plateau that you're on kind of, and you realize, our footing's been compromised. This is not stable anymore. So, Elsa, thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. So I don't know where you fell off earlier.
Right when I rolled that listen.
Rolled that listen. Okay, so you rolled the listen. And so you're in deep contemplation about this door and what the F and all this. Like, what is this place, right? Like, why am I here? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you hear it. And what it sounds like the rustling of a bush. You know? Like you would hear an animal rooting around in the forest, right? But it's not just that. It's also accompanied by what sounds like dozens of taloned claws clacking on stone, you know, on stone. And it echoes a little bit, but it's faint, like almost like it's trying not to be heard. Or at least taking, you know, it's not being reckless in its movement. You can hear it moving around. But you're inside this room with so many different oddities, these stairwells that lead to nowhere with these random doors and the shifting and bending of gravity as it is. And this one giant double door that's open now into like the atmosphere. You know, that you can't quite pin down where it's coming from. But you can hear it moving around. You know? And it's, to be fair, it's not moving fast. It's not like it's charging you per se, but you can hear it moving around this room somewhere. But it just feels like there's way too many stairwells and things. What would you like to do? You have a few options. You can try and pinpoint it with another spot check. You can take your chances and see what this door is all about. You can try coming back the way you came from and try more staircases. You could take your chances on the platform going out the door to the great wide open. Or whatever you can think of. You know, you're allowed to play as much D&D as you like, but I'm just throwing out as far as I can think of. You know, what would you like to do, Elsa?
She's gonna see if she can find whatever's running around.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll me a spot check, and it's gonna have to be a really good one. Well, that's as good as you can get. That's as good as it gets, isn't it? Said it's gonna have to be a good one, and you gave it your all. So you listen for a little while, and you're looking around. Finally, you're able to like pinpoint its location. You realize that some of these stairwells are actually like a visual illusion. Like some of them look like they're sitting out by themselves, but they're actually pressed up against the wall, and it's just about your depth perception on how you can perceive it. Right? While some of them look like they're pressed up against the wall, but there's actually a space there in between the wall and the stairwell, which shows you that there's just slightly more to this room than just than just the oddness of it that you saw to begin with. Now you realize, oh, great. Everything's a freaking Monet, right? And you realize that what's happening is this thing is running in between these illusions. It's like it knows it's almost like it's using the back doors to this room to guide itself around. And you finally pinpoint it, and what you see come out of there, Elsa, you've seen a lot of things in your day, but you've never quite seen something quite like this. In fact, even more so, because when you guys fought the crawling head, that was pretty much an eldritch horror, you were blindfolded the whole time. You never looked upon its gaze, so you never looked upon it, so you never really saw what it looked like. So, or that would probably be the worst thing you've ever seen. But because you missed out on that, this has got to be one of the worst things you've ever seen. And so much so, I will require a sanity check, sanity roll from you. I don't know what your sanity max is, but you just roll to remind you, because I know it's been a while. Go ahead and roll me a D100, and you have to get your sanity or lower to succeed. But I don't know where on your character sheet the sanity check would be, per se. Or I just tell you that too. I don't know what your number is.
Or lower?
What is it?
What'd you say? It was a D100 plus what?
It's just a D100. You just roll a flat D100, and you gotta get whatever your sanity total is or lower. Yeah,
it's a big fail.
It's a CO. Those are COC rules, actually. I can't take credit for it. I just kind of fashioned them to the old D. Okay. Oh, you failed that. Okay, well, I'll tell you. All right, so I'll tell you what you see, and then you can. We'll tell you what your options are about your sanity. Okay. So, yeah. So what you see is, it looks like a giant tumbleweed, but it's not made out of wood, basically. It's not a dried up plant. It's got the same shape as a tumbleweed, but where, like how tumbleweeds is basically just a dried up plant that has become thorny, and it's basically just now petrified, turned itself into like petrified wood with branches and thorns coming off of it. Instead, those branches, I want you to think of those branches are arms, and the thorns are fingers, talons. And in the center of each one of the hands that is attached to the arms is a yellow, like a piss-colored yellow eye with a single black pupil in the center of it. And this thing is not small. This thing is large. And save for maybe it's got 4 feet, 4 actual legs with feet on it. Save for those 4 feet, the rest of its body is just a mixture of these arms with hands and these clawed fingers that have these sickly eyes in the center of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's just clacking around as its hands, even though it's got its feet, its legs almost seem like it's just there to propel it forward, but the hands are what's giving it balance. You know? Almost like its feet are just almost like it doesn't have enough feet to actually support the entirety of this thing's weight. And there can be no question. It sees you because you can see some of its hands looking in your direction and looking at you, and it will, as other hands just search around and look for different doorways and stuff, and the second you notice it just stops. And every single, except for the few that support its weight, all the rest of its dozens upon dozens of hands just all turn, just and look at you. It doesn't move, doesn't do anything. It's just staring directly at you.
Also just waves at it like, hi.
Every single one of the hands open and close. It's almost like that's its form of blinking. Boom, blink. and continues not to move. What do you do, Elsa?
He's gonna walk over further.
Okay, so you're up a ways away from it, right? Like you're looking down at it at one of those little stairwells. So I want you to do me a favor and roll me a search to see if to see if you can decipher which stairwell may lead you to its positioning.
Okay, maybe if it'll let me.
Gang. Okay. So, takes you a few minutes as you begin to start testing out these different stairwells and stuff. You even say screw it and walk through one of the doorways and find that as you walk through the doorway, it actually acts like a doorway and doesn't just, even though you could easily walk around the thing, like do circles around it, when you actually walk through the doorway, it actually pops you out of another doorway somewhere else within inside this room. And you realize, okay, so the doors are actual doors, oddly enough. So you try doing it again, walking through the same door that you just came out, and instead of popping you out at the same door you just walked into, it pops you out of a different door. And whatnots and what have yous. Eventually, you find yourself going up and down stairs, shifting reality several times, where that thing, at one point in time, you find yourself directly underneath its position. Like it is, to it is sitting perfectly vertical, but to you, you're sitting perfectly vertical, but gravity is defied for both of you. And you, at one point in time, find yourself directly, like, underneath of it, looking up at it as all of its arms are looking down at you. And it's just watching you. And for a minute there, you wonder, well, what if this thing tries to drop down on me? But then you realize, well, it can't, because to it would just be like trying to jump to the ceiling. You no more can drop down on it as it can on you, because the laws of gravity are working differently. So it's I guess you could say it's a shift in hemisphere. But eventually you flip the world, you flip this room just right and find yourself cutting through one of these like little illusion doorways there. It's a wall that looks like it's solid, but actually it's fake. It's a solid wall, but the center of it's actually pushed in just slightly enough to where it leads to a tunnel left or right. You go in and you turn a corner and you find yourself popping out from behind the staircase, smack dab, maybe like 30 feet, more like 50 feet, like 50 feet away from where it is. And the second you come out of there, it just instantly just turns and just looks at you. All its hands just, only they're not outstretched now. They're all cocked back like they're ready to strike or something. Eyes open, just, and it looks at you. Would you like to proceed closer to it?
Yeah, it ain't attacked me yet, so.
All right. You start walking to it. And as you begin to get closer to it, you watch as it kind of squats down. And all its arms now, even the ones like holding its weight, keeping its balance. It's not even doing that now because it's like it's squatting. Its legs are allowing it to squat. It's actually squatted down to the ground where it looks like where almost looks like a tumbleweed now, and all its arms are like cocked and like bent up the elbows, looking at you. You get about 30 feet from it, and you feel this hand reach out and grab you from what looks like an alley in the wall that you could have been sure wasn't there not 10 seconds ago. But now there's just like an alleyway in this wall, as if the wall itself is now two buildings that is split apart, allowing this new thoroughway of street. And this hand grabs you, and it is pitch black. It is a pitch black hand, and when you turn to look at it, you see this. Well, it looks like a shadow, and something about him seems familiar, but you can't be for sure. But he's all just decked in shadow, and he looks sort of feline as he grabs you by the arm. It says. He grabs you and he goes, "What do you think you're doing?"
So it's like, I don't know where the fuck I'm at.
He goes, "Don't go to that thing." He goes, "What are you? Out of your mind?" He goes, "That thing will eat you like chicken gizzards. Get over here." And he tries to pull you into the alley with him. Do you go with him, or do you just still take your chances with that thing? Did I cut out?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be me, actually.
Oh.
I think my internet's doing fucky shit today.
Yeah.
So, I didn't hear anything he said.
What did you miss?
The shadow asked me what I was doing. That was it.
Oh. He says, "What are you doing? Are you out of your mind? It's like that thing will eat you like chicken gizzards. Get over here." And he tries to pull you into the alley with him. Do you go with him, or do you
what was X-Shadow's name?
Biggs.
Elsa's like, Biggs, is that you?
He like stops for a minute and kind of blinks. Like he watches his like eyes, those glowing eyes, just kind of blink a couple of times, and it's just like he looks at you for a moment and he goes, "Elsa, right?"
Yeah. It's like, I knew your voice sounded familiar.
He goes, "I almost forgot your face." It's about that time you hear the rustling and the clacking of the claws towards you. And Biggs just grabs you, and unless you object, he just grabs you and pulls you into that alley.
Elsa's like, "Man, all right."
So he pulls you into that alley, and you feel like this weird transition happen as he like pulls you in, and then like pulls you in and takes you up off your feet, and then he just sets you down. And when you look over your shoulder to where the thing went, all you see now is solid wall. And it feels like you're inside a city, an actual city now, like a town. Like it feels like you're in a town alleyway. Like the walls on either side of you look like they're buildings. And only there's light, as if things are being lit by lamps, but you don't actually see any lamps. And when you look up at the sky, you see no moon or anything. It's like a lit city at night, but it's missing certain aspects to it, right? It's a city at night adjacent, if you will. You know what I mean? As if the creator didn't finish his work, as it were.
Interesting.
Biggs goes, "Whoo! That was a close one, little paisana."
So like, what the hell was that?
Because I don't know what they're called, but they're in charge of guarding the treasure.
The treasure, huh?
He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "The treasure." It's like, you don't really know where you're at, do you?
Not a clue. She goes, I jumped into the bag of holding to catch this barb charm. It returned to Android, and I don't know what the fuck happened.
He goes, "Well, you ended up here." Because I'm not sure what this place is called. He goes, "But, yeah." He goes, I thought maybe you came here because, I talked to what's-his-face, and he said he knew you, and he was going to tell you guys. Are you here to help me?
I don't know who you're talking about, but sure.
This is like some elvish-looking guy, only he's not like the one elf that you guys travel with, you know? He's like half elven like that guy, but he's like a different kind of elf or something. Kind of a weird guy. I had to help him get some kind of ticket going on his chest so he could blip himself out of this place.
Oh, you talking about the weirdo with the hourglass thing?
Yeah! That'd be the chum.
Yeah, I ain't seen him in a minute.
Because I was kind of hoping... Is it just you here, then?
As far as I know. I ain't seen nobody else.
It's like, well, poop. He goes, I was kind of hoping he would go and get you guys and bring you here so you could, you could help me do what I asked him to help me do.
Well, what you need help with then, son?
Well, I don't really know. Like, he goes, I don't know how time really works where you're at, but down here, I've been here for a minute. Like, how much time, when Ek last jumped in this bag, how much time has gone by?
It ain't been that long. I don't know exactly, because I don't keep track of the days, but it ain't been very long.
It's like, crap. It was, well, 9 hells. We've been here for a hot minute. Like, longer than just a little bit. Was this place, I don't know. I lost track of time, but the last time I checked, it was like, we were hitting like year 20.
Year 20?
Yeah, we've been here for about 20 years or more now. I just lost track.
It ain't been 20 years where I'm at, that's for sure.
He's like, well, we gotta get you out of here then before it does to you what it did to me and Ek.
It sounds like you need some help out of here yourself.
Because it warps you. That's what this place does. It warps you. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's not natural. Those things, those damnable things, I don't know what it is, but there's actually an area here. He's like, I don't know what it's actually called, but I call it the vaults. There's an area here that, for all intents and purposes, is the most natural place, but the only thing that's not natural about it is it's just a series of rooms as far as the eye can see, and in each room, it's just full of treasure. Different treasures, and they just appear. And in each vault, just different treasures appear. And that's what those things do. They keep people from robbing the vaults. Like you ain't the first mortal to find your way to this place. I'll tell you. And some of them have found the vaults, and I've watched a few of them get eaten alive by those things. It's like to watch it. And he kind of shivers. Because they squat over you. Because their mouth is on the underside. And then he gets like all of a sudden, like he goes from like sounding jovial to like, you know, all real morbid. Like, just, it's like they squat over you. Their mouth is on the underside of their bellies, and when they squat over you, this giant maw full of teeth opens up, and their hands all just reach down underneath and just rend your flesh to shreds. And then it eats you. Yeah, so
that doesn't sound like much fun.
he goes, yeah, don't go trying to shake those things' hands. He goes, we'll just stay away from the vaults. So, I suppose I don't want to live here no more, but Ek ain't gonna leave. This place changed him. I mean, when it corrupted him, it corrupted me too. I'm not what I once was. And he kind of shows himself like he used to have more definition, if you kind of remember, but now he just looks like a pure shadow of a Roxas's outline, you know? And his eyes are glowing that eerie blue light. Says, I used to be different, but when it corrupted him, it corrupted me because we're attached. Only I'm tired. And Ek, he's just different now. I'll get you out of here. We'll figure out a way to get you out of here, and then when we figure out how to get out of here, then he goes, I can travel this place no problem really now. He goes, I'll bring you back, but before I do, I'm gonna need your help basically killing Ek.
Shit, why didn't you say that sooner?
He goes, well, because it ain't an easy thing for me, you know? He used to be my best friend. He was my paisan, you know? He's just not the same guy anymore. I mean, I know he was tough for y'all to handle because he was basically just a child, but I mean...
Motherfucker that tried to kill me.
He goes, well... Yeah, I mean, he sucks for that. He goes, but, I mean... That's what I'm saying, like, he just wasn't... And I don't know, a place like this and a guy like him, they don't mesh well, and he's discovered things about this place, and I'm afraid of what he's going to do with it if we don't stop him. If he can figure out how to travel from here to anywhere with no issue and actually harness this place's power, because this place has power. Because it's got certain doors here that take you to secrets that are best left alone. Because then, didn't I see, when I popped through there, didn't I see that you had that giant door open? That giant... He goes, yeah, no wonder that thing showed up. You opened up one of the secrets.
Interesting.
He goes, yeah. He goes, and, you know, you discovered that. If Ek discovers that, he sends me out on a regular basis. Right now, I got him tricked. I got him thinking that I'm out here discovering these things for him and bringing him back information, but he's getting impatient with me. I've managed to hold him off for decades, but if we don't end him soon, then shoot. I don't know what he's going to become. So, will you help me?
Well, of course.
Should we go and get your friends first, or should we just go and handle it?
Well, I don't know how to get to them and all that. So let's just do it ourselves. They probably busy doing other things anyway.
Says, all right then. Says, all right, well, follow me. And you all begin walking down the alleyway, and he's just kind of motioning for you to, like, not be real loud, but, you know, he's not necessarily telling you to sneak. He's just kind of like, you know, approach everything with caution. And he even says that. He's like, just approach every opening with caution, you know? Kind of check your blinders first, your 10 and your 2. Yeah. So you guys go stepping out of this alleyway. You see that you're inside this Victorian style neighborhood, complete with houses and everything. Still no street lamps, but yet there's light, as if it's being lit by gaslighting. And there are no people, but you begin to hear noises of people like laughing, what sounds like maniacal laughter and maybe crying coming from different houses. It's like a mixture of it's the craziest like sound you've ever heard. It's almost like you get the distinct impression that you're like in an open asylum. Like, this place is diseased. And yet it looks clean. As immaculate as it possibly could. Almost like it's fake. And as you guys go stepping out, X suddenly stops and, like, puts a hand in front of you for you to stop. And you watch as this very large animal comes lumbering by. It's not like the same thing as that one with multiple arms. No, this thing, it's got the body of a lion, the head of a goat, the head of a lion, and the head of a dragon, with a serpent as a tail. And it's walking by looking very confused as it looks around. And every once in a while, the goat will go, man, the dragon head, who seems to be the only one that actually speaks like a verbal language that you can understand. He's just like, I told you I don't know where we are, and whining about it ain't gonna do us any good. He goes, I swear, before I even came into the service of both of you, or the 3 of you as it is, I was something immaculate. I was grand, majestic, with wings, and then the lion cuts it off. He goes, what do you mean, poppycock? And this is what you see. This is what you actually see. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. He's walking around. He's like, I don't know how we're going to get out of here just yet. And like the dragon head's having an argument with the other 2 heads. He's like, I have no idea how we're going to get out of here just yet. All right. But one way or another, I will find a way. We will find the others, and once again, we will be in the service of you, Quill, so I can finally get myself rid of the 2 of you. You can go back to being a lion, you can go back to being a goat, and you can go back to being a bottom feeder. And he's talking to the snake, and the snake just kind of whips around for a minute, looking agitated at his words. But
Quill, huh?
He goes, you, Quill, will uphold his end of the deal, and I will uphold mine, if I can just find my way out of here. He goes, that was utterly stupid of us to just go jumping into that bag under Android's instructions.
Also asked Biggs, do you know them?
Biggs shakes his head and goes, I have no idea what that is. I've never seen anything like that in this place. He goes, I'm pretty sure it's a visitor like you and I.
I was talking about you, Quill, which is one of, I don't know if you remember him, he's the big guy.
The oh yeah, the tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him. I remember him. He's like it's all kind of coming back to me now. Because I've had to talk to myself just to remember how to talk. It's been so long.
Well, I wonder if they can help us take out Egg for you.
He goes, you think he knows you, Quill?
They're talking about it, so they must.
Goes, all right, well, tell you what, you know you Quill better than I do, so you go talk to him, but if it gets froggy, I'll back you up by getting us out of there as quickly as possible. Deal?
Fair enough.
Goes, all right. And you watch as he forms into your shadow. Boom.
Interesting.
He pops up his head and goes, oh yeah, living here has taught me a lot of tricks. Boom, and lays back down flat.
And then Elsa looks forward and she just lets out the loudest whistle she can muster. She's like, hey!
When you do that, you watch this giant beast just kind of flinch out of reflex like he startled it, and he spins around and he's like, what's that? What's what? He goes, I'll have you know, fiend, that you are facing I, Yucca, the Green Dragon, Master Supreme, fiercest creature in the skies. And then when he notices that it's just a little girl, he goes, with wingspan of 20, little girl. It's a little girl. He's kind of all three heads tilt to the side, and the snake tail tilts to the side as they look at you. This little girl, you shouldn't be here. This place is dangerous.
He looks at him like, no, you're not wrong. She goes, I don't know how I got here, but I need your help. And I heard you talking about you, Quill.
Was you Quill? Yes, what of him?
Well, I know him.
The goat goes, meh. He goes, yes, quite right. This could be a trick. He goes, if you know you Quill, then what's his favorite thing to do?
I guess it technically depends on the situation, but he does love women.
And he's like, survey says, correct. He goes, you could have also said drinking and smoking, and those answers would have also been correct.
Technically, it was going to be breathing fire, but that's true too.
He does love himself a good fight. That's right. He goes, yeah, you know you Quill. He goes, I am Yucca. Green Dragon. Okay, technically I'm what they call a chimera. But I once was a green dragon. Majestic. With a wingspan of 50 feet on either side. 100 if not. And then one day I loved the wrong dragon. And her lover cursed me to this form. And so here I am.
Nice.
Indeed. I think I've heard of you before, too.
Because yes, I and you Quill made a deal a while back when he was first picked by the Red Dragon, the spirit of the Red Dragon, Fenrir, to be his totem. I told him I would teach him the ways of the dragon if he helped return me to my form. So far, though, we have not had a lot of going-ons. We were separated for, what felt like an age, really. And I had just recently came back into contact with him when things went awry again, and his associate, Android. I don't know if you know who Android is, but he's an alright fellow.
Yes, indeed. I do know Andrew.
Yes. Says, not his bird, though. Yeah.
What are you gonna get a saw?
It's a judgmental little shite.
This is true. He can be difficult sometimes.
Oh, show.
Says, regardless of all that, I had to jump into Android's bag of holding, I believe he calls it. And he does the air quotes with his two paws, holding. And, yeah, strange thing is it stretched to fit me and sucked me in, and I ended up here of all places, and I have no idea where this is.
We're both in the same boat then.
It says, oh, you came into the bag as well.
Yeah, I missed the pocket I normally go into and somehow ended up in this one.
Ah, I see. Let me roll something real quick. I mean, I don't know why I'm rolling it, because he's got a pretty decent stat right there, but just wanted to know. Okay, so as he's inspecting you, he happens to notice the badge on you, because you do have one of the Inglorious Few badges now. He says, I see.
I would have put it randomly upside down because she doesn't understand the point of it.
Yeah. He goes, he looks and he goes, you have one of the badges. You actually travel and fight with them. You're not just a little girl who happens to know these men. Wait. You're an adventurer?
I mean, you could consider me that. I don't necessarily say I'm an adventurer, but I do just hang around.
Says, but you're... He thinks about it for a minute, and the freaking goat goes, man! He goes, I wasn't gonna say that. That is rude. But you're a child.
I mean, I look like a child. Actually, we'll talk about that some other time.
Says, that strange group. And then he turns and looks at you for a minute, and he goes, may I? And he reaches over with a clawed hand and gently takes him a minute because his fingers are so much bigger, but he undoes your badge, flips it around, and then puts it back on you the right side up, and he goes, there you go.
Yeah, sure, thanks, whatever. I don't know how this thing works. They just gave it to me. I don't know what to do with it.
It says it's a symbol of honor. I was there when they earned them. Good man died that day. But regardless, yes, well, I didn't catch your name. What is your name?
I am Elsa.
Says, well, Elsa. And then all of a sudden Biggs sits up and goes, and I'm Biggs. He jumps back and it's like, oh, I see, you are quite different. You have a living shadow attached to you.
Yeah, that's my friend Biggs. He's hanging out with me today.
Biggs is like, yo. He goes, oh. He goes, all right, well, do you all know how to get out of this place, then?
No clue at all.
He goes, well, what?
My friend Biggs here has been here for a while, and apparently the guy he normally hangs out with is becoming a nuisance.
I see, and what were you on your way to do then?
Well, apparently my friend Biggs here needs some help taking him out.
As I see, so we're about to go murder a man. You really are one of the Inglorious Few.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Says, all right, well. He goes, I'll accompany you And you, good sir, Biggs. Biggs goes, yo, again. He's like, we will take out this ruffian and then we'll figure a way out of this horrid place. Because it makes absolutely no sense. I literally took a leak off of a ledge and it rained back down onto my head. As if it were...
Then the gravity in this place is a little weird.
Imagine that. Pissing on your own head. It's insulting. And the goat just... Nah, nah, nah. He goes, you wouldn't be laughing if it landed on your head. So, alright then.
Well, you help me with this, and then I will help you get back with your quilt.
So sounds like a plan. Imagine that. Yucca riding through with the long-lost Elsa by his side. They will remember me as a hero. Oh, I miss those days. I miss those days. What do you mean, shut your mouth? And his mumbling just kind of becomes a lot like that as you all begin to set forth to find Ek to, to kill him, I guess. To take him out.
The wizard?
Now, I hate to do this to you because I'm going to be honest. I mean, full disclosure, I wasn't expecting you tonight, so I have nothing made up for any of that. Right? Like, I don't have any stats for Ek or anything like that. Like, I have his old character sheet, but that's not going to do it justice, right? So I'm going to need time to prepare, but, dude, come back next session, and I promise you, I will, in one session, you will kill Ek and rejoin the party all in one session. Spoiler alert. You know? I just don't have anything. I just don't have anything like prepared, you know. So, we're gonna have to jump back to the other group in this last 30 minutes. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
But I mean, it would be great to have you back. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I would love to have the whole party back together. Marriage is what brings us together. I'm gonna invent a character that talks like that. Anyways. So, Icy. Hello, everybody. So, Icy Hot was running late tonight, and he's finally made it. Icy Hot _2305 is now joined the group sometime during this playthrough with Elsa, and he plays Zoltan Heisenberg, the half-drow druid, but not your typical druid. He is the antithesis of a druid. His nature lore comes from the underground, so while some druids have like an affinity for trees, he's got an affinity for rock and stone. You look at flowers and bushes, he's looking at moss and algae. They're looking at clear waters, he's looking at mucky waters with crystals inside of it. You know, he's got the deep lore. He's got that druidic deep lore. He's a druid from the deep. That's what, you know what? You know what, Zoltan? I think that's what we should call you, man, is a deep druid. What do you think? A DD. A deep druid.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that sounds cool, huh? Yeah, so he's a deep druid. It's canon now, folks. You were here. You heard it first.
Where's my canon event?
So, Icy, just to recap for what you missed, you guys are now topside in Pangshun, in the continent of Pangshun, headed towards a shogunate, called the Dragon Below Shogunate. The Dragoon Below Shogunate. You guys are scaling a mountain right now, and while you guys were resting, some giants that look like they're made out of electricity manifested out of a storm and are now playing catch with thunderbolts. Well, with lightning bolts. And just wrecking the place. This is a pretty good recap right there, huh? What do you think? If you need to catch up on it any more in depth, just watch the episode when I post it. And you know what I mean? I highly recommend that. But with that said, yeah, that's where we pick up. You guys are in the middle of this storm right now, watching these two giant beings throw lightning at each other and try to catch it and bounce it off of mountain ranges, bounce it off of each other, and every time it hits something other than them catching it, it just is causing like explosions. And some of them hit so close to you guys that you can feel the mountain of the plateau where you guys are resting. You can feel it actually shake. You know? And it feels like the plateau you guys are actually on, it feels like its integrity is being compromised with every time it shakes. So, what do y'all do? What are y'all thinking? What's your cut? What's your cut of beef? What's your slice?
So, I'm with the group that's on the mountain, right?
Si, senor.
Just making sure.
Man.
Yeah, so these two were just tossing it at each other, just you know, but eventually one actually beams the other one in the head and explodes, and just, again, not his head, but the lightning bolt explodes and turns into dozens of little lightning bolts that strike the mountain sides and just, and the explosions are so fierce that the dust from it is starting to reach up to you guys even at this height, and it's uncomfortable, you know, like so much so that like maybe you need to pull like garments over your faces, except you, again, Agaragus, because you're just like, I don't breathe that way. But like you know, yeah, you're like, you guys are sissies. No,
For real.
but like, you know, because it's getting dusty up there. It's dusty and wet, and it's like the weirdest combination, right? It's almost like cement. You know, because of the mixture. Yeah, it's concrete, baby. But yeah, but eventually, like the one that gets hit in the head, he gets mad, and he walks over and socks the other one, and the one that he socks falls over. And when he falls over, he falls into the mountains, and they just, you know, and you guys feel that rumbling real hard. I need everybody to roll me a balance. A balance check. I see. I assume you need people to roll for you tonight.
I need people to roll for me tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and another question. How is Zoltan's exhaustion looking? Is it?
Oh, you rested. Yeah, you're good. You're good. That's one thing. You guys stayed the night at Lord Valroon's place. Valroon's place before you
I'm running late. I've rested and I'm not able to prepare spells. Bum.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's one thing I couldn't do for you. You know what I mean? So, I'm just going to say, we'll just say you were so exhausted that the second you got to rest, you passed out and forgot to you didn't even go into like the meditative trance that elves normally go into. You actually passed out. That's how tired you were. And like I said before, you know, Shiloh was all enamored with you and everything. Valrun insisted that you sleep alone. That she does not, because she was like ready to jump your bones, and yeah, it just didn't. So there's that. Dang, you got no balance to speak of. And you still rolled about as good as a Gary is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because both y'all be rolling. Y'all have booty for balance. You guys rolled the exact same thing with the same modifier.
Nice.
So, what did we roll?
You rolled a 17, Zoltan.
Let's go.
So, you guys start getting jiggled, and the plateau gives a little. And when that happens, you're in that heavy armor. It sends you off balance, and you actually fall and begin to feel the decline of the plateau. While everybody else is able to get their sturdy footing, it takes you off guard, and you begin to slide off. Go ahead and roll me a reflex check. You Quill. All right, that's a good reflex. So you begin to slide off, but you manage to just reach out your hand and grab the ledge before falling off completely. So your upper body, yeah, your upper body is up on the plateau, but your lower half, your legs are dangling off, and you're just like, roll me. Well, anybody got any thoughts on that? before I do anything.
We fucked.
All right, you will. Go ahead and roll me a climb to see if you can't pull yourself back. I'll tell you what, I mean, you can roll a climb or you can roll a strength, because I don't know how good your climb is either, but your strength might actually be better. I don't know. You know, it's really up to you on what you want to do there. You can either roll a strength to try and pull yourself up, or a climb to try and crawl your way back up. Get your body back up on there. Your body. Ooh, nice. So you climb your way back up on there and just kind of swing your leg, your one leg over, just while your one leg is still dangling a little bit, and you're just like, oh. And you look over as the one giant is on top of the other giant, just pounding him now. And you can feel the impact of it. Like, you guys can feel it. Like, you can feel it. Every hit is like a shockwave. But at least they're not breaking any mountains anymore and actually rumbling the they're not doing structural damage to anything now. But that force, I mean, it's enough to kind of jar you, and you're not entirely sure what you should do, but you realize, man, you don't know. Tell you what.
Don't know, so you know.
Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you. You have a few options there. You can try and ride this out on this plateau, or you can try and get the crap up out of there, or you can go for some unforeseeable option that you may have that I don't know of. Because you're allowed to play as much D&D as you like, but you got to do something. So, tell me what y'all would like to do.
So, what is our goal? What are we trying to do?
Do what, Zoltan? I'm sorry.
What are we trying to do?
That's a good fucking question.
Well, you guys were...
Where are we going?
So, okay, so it's hard for me to explain to you because you can't actually see the Roll20 right now. But I will throw, but because you can see the Discord, I will throw this picture up there for you. And I will kind of talk you through it, but it's going to be a little difficult because I can't make pointers or anything on it. But we'll go for it. So, that is the continent of Pangshun. And the continent is broken up into 5 shogunates. So you guys are in the mountain range of the 6th demon shogunate right now. You're just towards the bottom of it. let's see. I think I can get clever in showing you this, actually. I will clip it and show you where you are exactly and where you're trying to go at the moment. I can just do it like a normal person and not a freaking goon. Okay. So you guys are, well, okay, I wish that was a little bit bigger, but that's the best I can do. You guys are basically in that part of the mountain range right now, and you're trying to go southwest into the Dragoon below Shogunate. Now, just a little bit below all that, there is a valley that Android spotted. And Android figured if they can make it to that valley, if you guys can make it to this valley, you'll find an easier way out of these mountains, the Sangoon Mountains, than just trying to climb the whole dang thing. You guys climbed for a whole day. I just gave you a freebie. I didn't roll for it. I just let you because you weren't here. I was just like, he's just there. He's just not talking. He's catching his breath still. But yeah. He figured, you guys have been climbing. You guys climbed all day, but these are mountains. You guys aren't like professional climbers or anything. What are you? Freaking Tom Cruise at the beginning of Mission Impossible 2? No. But you guys are, but you guys have been climbing. They rolled good, so y'all did good. And you just stopped here for the night on this plateau that you found. And while you were sleeping, it started to rain like really badly, like thunderstorm and rain and lightning. And the lightning, like bolts of lightning started coming down and forming up these two massive giants. And when I mean massive giants, I mean these guys are so big that they can actually look upon these mountains and see over them to the horizon. You know what I mean? These guys are not little. These are some of the most massive dudes you have ever... These are the biggest things you've ever seen in your life. You know what I mean? You have lore in the underworld of things as big as this, but you've never seen anything this big, right? Like a delver, for instance. You know that there's these things called a delver that supposedly exist in the underworld that are big like this, but you've never seen one, right? This is the biggest, these are the biggest things you've ever seen, and they've just been sitting there playing catch with lightning this entire time, jacking up the mountains. And, yeah. So that's what you're trying to do right now. But right now, you guys have to decide on whether or not you're going to try and hang out on this plateau and see if you can't just ride out these guys this little playtime until they go home, or if you're going to try and get the crap up out of there, or whatever it is you want to do, but you got to make a decision.
Can we try and see about finding a, like, shallow cave for us to seek shelter in? You know, like, kind of off out of the way.
Anybody who wants to can roll a spot to see if they can't see something like that nearby.
Okay.
Zoltan, if you want to, you can roll a spot as well, but you just got to tell me and I'll roll it.
Yeah, can you roll a spot for me?
I sure can.
And then after that, can you see what else spells I have?
I will check in a minute. These are all pretty good spots. All pretty decent spotty spots. Yeah, we're gonna go through it real fast though, okay? So we don't get held up by it. And then so you'd still have Flare, you still have Nature Watch, you still have Obscuring Mist, Endure Elements, Speak with Animals, Sandblast, Owl's Wisdom, Energy Vortex, Binding Woods, you have 2 of those. Binding Wood, what? Spell Staff, you got 1 of those. Summon Nature's Ally, 1 of those. And that's a level 6. Control Weather, ooh. Firestorm, Summon Nature's Ally, 7th level. Earthquake, 8th level. Storm Elemental, Elemental Swarms, Storm Vengeance, Summon Nature's Ally, 9th level. That's it.
Okay.
So you want some advice?
I was gonna see if we spotted anything first before I did anything.
Oh yeah, you definitely do. Android, you cause it's in the rain and everything, technically you guys are working at like a -4, but I mean that's a 20 and you rolled as good as you could, you know what I mean? So even at like what is that, a 32? You're or not even that. What is that?
Flat 30.
Yeah, flat 30. I'm like 32 because math, right? Right? Am I right? But at a 30, you still, like, you guys spot, like, all 3 of you, Uquill, Android, and Zoltan. You guys all look out and you spot like a little, what looks like a little enclave, if you will. A little, cleft of the rock, if you will, that shadows you from a dry, thirsty land. You see this little cleft, maybe like, it's probably about like 40 feet away, 45 feet away from where you are. The problem is you will have to climb to it. And it doesn't look like that cleft goes on, like, is on a plateau. It looks like you will have to climb down into the cleft.
Wonderful.
But it's there. There is shelter.
I guess.
Oh, children. I mean, honestly, that cleft, it's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. You would know. So I don't like how that conversation just ended. Yeah, so you want to climb to that cleft. What does everybody else think? Zoltan, Uquill, Agaragis, what do you guys think? Everybody needs to weigh in on this before I have y'all start rolling.
So, like, the 2 giants that are fighting, they're up there fighting at the moment, causing, like, mayhem and all that, correct?
Yeah.
If you said they were summoned by the thunderstorm, it's still raining and all that, correct?
Yeah, they rode in on the clouds. Basically, is the idea you get.
Okay.
You guys see them as giants, that's for sure. You've never seen giants quite like these before. But yeah, they're for all intents and purposes, these are giants.
Well, Zoltan wishes to use control weather.
Nice. When I saw that you had that, I was like, I hope he thinks about what he's got.
Yeah, you said that. I was like, I knew I prepared it for a moment like something like this. It's just my advantages.
You've just been waiting for that one chance. One shot.
Yep.
Do.
You have one moment.
One opportunity.
I was waiting for a third person to go at it, and then like the fourth person, but
Usually Android's pretty quick to jump in on that whenever that joke gets made, but he was...
I was letting you have it this time.
Aw, that was sweet of you. Aw. I'm gonna cry.
I bet.
Alright, Zoltan. So, walk me through what you do here. Basically, control weather means you control the weather right now. Walk me through it. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And give me some flavor text to it, buddy.
Well, you see, Zoltan, I'm gonna just say Zoltan is still trying to recover from all the, water bending and all that he was just doing, being the avatar, all that. He's still trying to get everything back in the shape, and while he's doing that, he's trying to find cover by a rock just in case if his theory's wrong and the thunder giants look at him and try to like pummel him. So he'll try to find like a small rock like big enough to hide, and he wants to make the rain stop. Alright, so have you seen Now You See Me Too? Like how he makes like the rain seem like it's like slowing down and then like it stops and all that?
Oh, yeah, he's trying to like just freeze it all, like not actually freeze it, but just like as it's falling, he just stops it. It just stops raining. Like, but it's not like it just stops raining, but like the raindrops are still there. They're just like frozen. Basically, they just stop like a freeze frame. Right? Is what you're saying? Because I've never seen Now You See Me Too, but I can picture it in my head what it is you're trying to do. Alright. Now, are you going to do anything about like the thunder and the lightning and the sky and all that, or is it just the rain in general that you're controlling? Like, are you trying to stop the storm altogether, or just the rain?
Storm altogether. You just want me to add flavor text to it, so I was just, added flavor text to it.
No, I got you. No, I just was making sure I understood all this correctly. Alright, cool. Cool. Alright, so you like get yourself, you're on that plateau and you get yourself back up against the wall and kind of off to the side as much as you possibly can to let the natural curvation of the mountain hide you as much as you can, and you put your hands out and you start focusing again real hard, and you're trying to stop a mega storm. So naturally, and you're still, like you said, you've still been fighting off some of that tired, even though you're not exhausted technically anymore. You just feel more jet lagged than anything, I guess you could say. You're a little bit more sleepy than usual, right? But this actually comes to you a lot easier than when you were water bending. Shout out to the fire clan, by the way. Shout out to the bad guys. Yeah. Burn the world. Yeah, burn the world, y'all. Anyways, so burn it all down. Anyways, so you hold your hands out and you focus, and it comes to you a little bit easier because you're not using the water and controlling, like when you did that with the water to put out the fire, you created water and then controlled water, but you created only so much water because it only creates so much water, and then you snaked it around and fought fire with it and to maintain it. This, however, control weather, you're doing exactly with it what it's meant for. You're not being utterly tricky. You're not being tricky with it. Within the guidelines. I mean, technically what you did with putting out the fire, that was fair. It was just a tricky maneuver, and I had to make you exhausted for it, right? This, however, this ain't really tricky at all. This is exactly what this spell was made for. So you find it come to you with ease, and the rain, as it pours down, just instantly and just stops. And it's like it's suspended in time, but it's not. Like, Android, Uquill, Agargus, you guys watch this take place, and, Would it be fair to say, Agaragis, that watching something like this happen would be would make you so inquisitive that you would actually reach out and touch like one of the droplets of rain that's just suspended in air just to see what it would do? Is Agaragis still with us? Oh.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, would it be fair to say that like Agaragis, out of everybody, when you watch this rain falling all of a sudden just stop as if it's frozen in time, it's still there. It's not like turned to ice. It's just suspended in motion. Would it be fair to say that like Agaragis would reach out and just like tap one of the raindrops just to see what it would do?
Oh, yeah. You'd be very curious.
So when they do that, you tap one of the droplets and it, just pops. Like water, once it hits a hard surface, how it splatters, that's what this does. And when it splatters, it only goes out so far, and then it suspends. So it's not like the water is actually frozen, it's just suspended, and it's no longer raining. And then the thunder stops, and the lightning quits striking, and the clouds begin to roll back as Zoltan begins to make this storm go away. And when that happens, the two giants look and see that the storm is stopping, and they're looking around all confused, and they both get up, and you watch as one of them pulls a rope, like pulls what looks like a rope or a whip from his belt, and it itself looks like it's just harnessed lightning, and he whips one of the clouds, and the other one does the same thing. And as the clouds begin to roll back, the clouds pull these massive beings up off the ground as if they were as light as a feather. And you watch as they begin to disincorporate and become lightning again and streak up into the clouds. And you watch inside these clouds, lightning flashing with inside their fluffy textures. Just as it all rolls back, and it just slowly, eventually, Zoltan, you build up the wind enough for it to just pick up its own inertia and carry the clouds without your assistance. And then you release it all and let that last torrent of rain just all and splash on everybody. Yeah.
Theory wasn't wrong. Zoltan's happy.
Now, the question is, do you guys stay there, or do you try and climb over to that cleft? Or do you do something else? I don't know. You all tell me.
So,
Zoltan checks Big Bird and goes to where we need to go.
Do what, Android?
I was gonna say I'm shelter.
You're what?
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Well, I think it's Icy's fucking interference causing me to break up.
Yeah, it's just adding a lot of static, and I don't want to be rude and just be like, Icy, shut yourself up. But like it's causing a lot of static, so like everybody else just kind of sounds like muffled. You know?
F.
Yeah. Like you're.
I was gonna say I'm still down for seeking shelter.
All right, Android's down for. So you're down for climbing over towards that cleft.
Yeah.
Now, why cleft, Sean?
Because you said that the like lightning giants or whatever are still out there, right?
Well, they're gone now. They went with that storm. They went with the clouds as Icy pushed them away.
Oh.
They went back up into the clouds. Like you can still see like their presence. You know, like, you know, when you watch a thunderstorm happen, sometimes you can see the lightning striking, but it only strikes with inside the cloud. You can just see it like flashing on the inside of it. That's what that looks like as Icy just pushes him back, and eventually he built up enough wind to just carry him away.
Like, you Yeah, but they're still like kind of there. You know. Like,
they exist. Yes,
yeah,
they are a definite possibility at any time, as you can see.
I don't think I don't fuck with that.
What about you, Quill, Agargus, and Zoltan? Well, we'll take it from the top. You, Quill, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Specifically on? This is bullshit.
Yeah, by this time, too, you've climbed completely up onto the ledge. You're just, like, laying there now on your back, just like, oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that one was close. Yeah. You literally watched Coraline Lorethian die in a similar fashion. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's low-key not having a lot of this right now. It's just like, you know, shit happens, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, eh. But yeah, I mean, nothing too out of the ordinary, right? Like, it's just like, fuck, man, this eats ass.
yeah. Well, what would you like to do? Would you like to... Well, what do you want to do? You want to stay on that ledge? You want to do something else? You want to follow Android's lead and try and see if you can't climb over to down into that cleft and find shelter? Like, what would you like to do?
Yeah, he'll probably try to tail end, like, bitching the whole time.
Sound like Yosemite Sam over here.
He's like, fuck this stupid shit, this fucking bullshit. Never should have came down here on this bullshit fucking task. But no.
Other people's continents, man.
Pretty much.
Always gotta be somebody. Fucking someone.
What about you, Agargus? What do you think?
I was just gonna hop on Android and ride him.
Well, this is a PG program, man. I'm gonna use this down.
So that's how you roll.
Yo, chill.
Wilson's down, let's go in the find shelter.
Alright, Zoltan. Alright. Well, in that case, everybody begin to roll me some climbs. Except you, Agargus, you roll me a ride. Zoltan, I will roll your climb for you.
Thank you, good sir.
Hi,
You are quite welcome. Oh, shoot. If I, Okay, here we are. Oh, okay. That's not terrible. You rolled an 18, Zoltan. Alright.
Stumbles to death.
Alright. Android, you rolled a 24. You Quill rolled a 28 because he ain't playing around. Zoltan, technically, you rolled a... What's that? You rolled a 16. So... Oh, well, no, I guess Android's the only one at a kind of a disadvantage because he's backpacking. Everybody else is all right. Well, but the rocks are slippery from the rain, so yeah, that's what my thinking was. So yeah, everybody's at a -2 disadvantage. All right, so y'all begin climbing, and all except Agargus, because all they have to do is just ride Android. So you got, and because Android's doing a good job, he with little to no issue whatsoever. Quill has little to no issue whatsoever. Zoltan, go ahead, and we're gonna roll a reflex for you. Alrighty. Ready? Okay.
I'm falling even more.
It's reflex time. We're gonna see if Zoltan falls down, breaks his knees.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, Zoltan, as you're climbing, you catch a rock that's just... Yeah. You put your hand up on a rock, and because the mountain structure has gone through so much trembling this night, it's loose. And when you try to put your weight on it, it breaks away. And because the rocks are slick, you panic and you try to plant your foot, and it slides right off, and you begin to slide down the mountain. You haven't quite fallen off yet, but you begin to slide down the mountain, and you catch yourself, and that breaks away, and you begin to slide down the mountain some more. What do you want to do?
Am I on like anything solid at the moment?
The sky.
Nice.
Oh, if that's the case, man, you know what? Turn me into a bird. I'm flying to the cave.
There you go.
I did that in the first place. I knew I started climbing.
Yes.
Save less fab.
Yeah, so you're like, what kind of bird you want to turn into?
I'm a bird.
So you turn into
Birdman.
you turn into a chicken, and you turn into a penguin, and freaking
Turn Kyle into a chicken.
yeah, you turn into like a, I don't know, like a what do you call it? Well, what's a good common bird? A finch. Something you would have seen a lot of, a finch, right? Well, okay, down into your caves too. Like, so you don't actually turn into a bird at all. You turn into a bat. And I mean, keeping it real, right? I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. You turn into a bat, and freaking like, so you start sliding down. You're like, oh, and you try to catch yourself, and it breaks away. And you're like, oh, and you kind of bounce off the side of the mountain, and you're like, I'm gonna die. And then you're like, wait, no, I'm not. And you turn into a bat. Your body just morphs, and you turn into this bat, and you just go flying back up there.
Adios, amigos.
Yeah, you relocate yourself into that cleft, just whoo, right past everybody as Uquill and Android and Agaragis all finally make your guys' way down into this cleft. As you guys climb down into the cleft, you find that it does climb down and then lead down. For a minute there, it's a drop. It's almost like you're in between the mountain's butt cheeks, right? But then you find the hole, and you find that there's sure footing there, and it's not like a narrow. It's wide open and everything. It's cut in, and like, in fact, like you can even still see outside. Like you don't have to go down deep in there. It just takes a minute before you climb your way. There's a good like
That's
I don't know.
what she said.
Yeah, there's like a good 10.
Nice.
Yeah, there's like a good 10 feet of just like rock wall that you have to climb before you make it onto the plateau, and then boom, you're in there. So it's not like, but this hole is not shallow. Right? It's it actually leads down deeper into this mountain. Where you're standing right now, you have plenty of light, yada, yada, yada. But if you keep on venturing in, you're going to go down into this mountain, deeper into the darkness. You don't know how deep it is, but you know it's deep enough that you can't see down in there. Zoltan's just hanging from the ceiling, just chilling, looking at you guys. Android, I imagine you dismount Agaragis. And
I don't think Android was mounting Agaricus. I think it was the other way around.
what? Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm being a dick.
yeah. Okay, fine. You grab Agaragis and you throw her off your back, and she bounces and.
Accurate.
Yeah. So you set him down, and yeah, that's where you guys are. You have your typical options: rest for the rest of the night, venture deeper into the cave. It's really up to you. You could do something else, play as much D&D as you like. But think about that for next week, because we're going to end the session tonight.
Whoa.
Right here.
Whoa.
Whoa! Whoa! Yeah. I just feel like this is a good time to stop it. I'm actually getting severe weather storm messages on my phone right now.
Yeah, same.
So, we could try and press on a little bit, but let's just call it a night right here.
Oakley dokley.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for playing. Thank you for being here. To those of you listeners at home, I thank you all for joining us on tonight's adventure. I hope you all liked it. I had fun. I don't know if these guys had fun, but as long as I had fun,
That's what's
Right.
I think that's all that matters.
No, but I I had fun. I hope you guys did too. But yeah, if you guys like what we do here and we got y'all feeling a certain kind of way, drop us a like, share, and subscribe. I'm just completely blessed by y'all for joining us, and you could bless me more by doing that. So I'd really appreciate it. I'm blessed by my players here. I'm just blessed to get to play this game, that I'm still alive, walking God's green earth, and getting to do this. So, we will catch you all next week, and y'all come back now, you hear? Bye. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Hasta luego.
bye.